This is Admiral Biatch to base camp. It seems the stormtroopers have gone on strike, and I have no experience with this type of shit. Who should I call for help?
It's the V to the A to the D-E-R. Reconstructing the Death Star with my slick suede suit that's black lights off. Fucking you up no matter who you are.
Tell the motherfuckers about to see a dark side. On your planet Death Star, drive by. Them people rebels cause the skills ain't shit.
My TIE fighter zigzag stay lit.
Oh shit! Yoda on the scene, 900-year fiend, smoking Dagobah green. Bitches on my tip like Lando on liquor.
Ah, you're just jealous cause my black dick's thicker. Yo, tell him Chewie last night I had Leia all drunk, wonder to me.
Shut the fuck up, man. Leia's my sister. The only thing you're getting is a beat-off blister.
Luke, use the Force before intercourse, but Luke, don't forget,
Bitches ain't nothing but hoes and tricks. Obi-Wan, I'm the Top Gun. The chosen one, hotter than both sons. Vader ain't shit, his head's cut up and split. He's slower than the first Pentium chip.
Shit. No one brings it worse in this fucking universe.
Rebels! You know we'll fucking win, cause we'll fight till the end.
I can feel the anger dwelling within you.
Rebels!
You also feel Vader's dick in you, biatch.
Bitch, I control now. Just on my tierra. Bunda la fiesta. Canto Jabba tierra.
Jabba, you ain't nothing but a fat ass slug. Fake gold chains, you sorry ass thug. Sitting in your palace of your blue-headed whore. Trapdoor to the Rancor.
Oh, my goodness gracious me. On the gay man's golden fantasy. Programmed for homo ecstasy. 10 billion forms of gay positioning. For my golden shower, you must pay a fee. But R2-D2 gives it up for free. R2-D2, what's your language? Always having sex with robotic strangers.
Misa like to drink and smoke all night. Misa like to fight and fuck your wife. Misa don't care cause Misa so dumb. Misa will fuck you with me thumb. Misa wants a Misa cause a Misa wants some. Misa wants a Misa cause a Misa wants some. Misa wants a Misa cause a Misa wants some. Misa wants some cause Misa wanna come.
Awesome Sauce! Hello, everybody. This is Awesome Sauce Radio. I am your host, Blind Adam Wonders, the Comic Pimp. I hope you're having a beautiful, blessed, amazing Wednesday evening. Before we bring our guest in, talk an amazing new indie comic, say a quick what's up to JV. I'd like to thank our sponsors. I want to thank DeMarco's Pizza. DeMarco's Pizza is the greatest pizzeria in all of northern New Jersey. It's delicious and nutritious. And if you want to try all their great Italian food, go to 1926 Union Valley Road, Butte, New Jersey 07421, 973-728-1344. Tell them why I sent you. DeMarco'sPizza.com. Yeah. Love that place. Get a slice. You know, tell Christine that she's like the sexiest pizzeria hostess in the whole wide galaxy. Tell Lou that Blind Adam said you gotta try the garlic nuts, because garlic nuts are just delicious. But 1926 Union Valley Road, New Jersey 07421, 973-728-1344. Tell them Blind Adam sent you. The Marcus. Yeah. I also want to give a big shout out to Big Clutch Comics, BigClutchComics.com, home of some of the greatest variants, hottest titles, hottest artists. He's gonna have a Dungeon Crawler Carl #1 for San Diego Comic Con. Looks amazing. Exclusive courses by Pete Carroll. Big Clutch Comics has got it all. BigClutchComics.com. Tell them what I'm saying. I also want to give a big shout out to the Garden State Comic Fest. Garden State Comic Fest is June 27th, 28th. Cody Arena in West Orange, New Jersey. Gainesville Bar. Kevin Eastman. Thundercast reunion with Larry Kenny, Peter Newman, and Lynn Lipton. www.GardenStateComicFest.com. And now, August 29th, to Mr. Paul Brown, congratulations. Super New Jersey Comic Con up in Townsboro, New Jersey. They got Kevin Smith, Jason Mewes. They got Priscilla Barnes, Jason Lee, John Romita Jr. It's going to be the greatest Mallrats reunion of God's green earth. Get your tickets. Super New Jersey Comic Con, August 29th. I iron something in Townsboro, New Jersey. Go to the website, tell them about it. I'll say, I will be there. Now with that all being said and done, I'd like to have a returning guest. He's got a new book coming out from Boom Studios. The one, the only, Mr. Fred Vanlentie. What's up, sir?
Hey, Adam. How you doing?
I am doing well.
Your secondary pop-in is also here.
All right, and
so Luca is also
let's
here.
bring in Luca as well.
Hey, guys.
Hey, how you doing, Luca?
I'm good. How are you guys?
Good. So Fred and Luca, you guys have a new book out. Tell us about, am I pronouncing it right? Vampy Rates?
It's very close. That's for freelance bloodsuckers. That's what they charge you. They charge you Vampy Rates to, remove any untoward bile or, infected blood from your bloodstream. But we don't deal with those altruistic vampires in our book. Our vampires are pirates. You might even call them vampirates.
Nice. Okay. Well, that's what I get for listening to text readers all that long.
There you go. You can't blame the robots. They're trying.
Well, that's true. So how did this book come about?
Luca, you want to grab that one?
Yeah, basically, me and Fred, we had been doing a book together at Marvel like a million years ago, and it was a really cool experience, and more or less, and we've been throwing this a lot, like, hey man, we should really do something together. We should do a creator-owned book together. And then like it's always like this, that when I'm free, he was not. When he was free, I was not. So it took a while to get the ball rolling. But then around a couple of years ago, we actually sat down and said, let's do this. And we knew we wanted to do something together. We didn't know what it was. And we started rolling, like throwing ideas back and forth. He basically sent me a bunch of his ideas. I sent him a bunch of my ideas, and we didn't seem to find something that was like, that made us go like, yeah, that's the one. But then I just out of the blue, I was like, I always think of this word. I don't know if there's anything to it. I don't know if there's a story behind it, but I really like the word like vampirates, because it's like vampires and pirates, and I think it's a really cool word. And it's kind of weird that, as far as I know, nobody has ever done anything with it. And
I did some research. No, it looks like you guys are the first to combine, the pirates and vampires for Vampirettes, and it's a cool concept.
Well, Luca, you did a whole bunch of research beforehand, right?
Yeah, basically, because to me the title was so good that it really felt weird that like it doesn't exist already. But yeah, we researched a couple of things, and we saw that it was not something that a lot of people had done. And then we knew that we had our own special spin on it anyway. And then things started like snowballing from there. Like Fred really liked the concept, and then he basically came back with a full treatment that was like everything was there: the characters, the plot, the main stuff that happens in the book was already there, like pretty much from day one. And I wasn't really privy to any conversation that Fred had with editorial, but from what I understand, basically it's almost untouched, like the way that the story is now, right?
Oh, well, Fred, editorial basically didn't touch you all that much?
Not unless I ask them nicely.
Oh, okay.
No,
show us on the doll with where did they touch you, Fred?
That's right. Here's where they touch me. No, everyone's been really awesome. Our fantastic editors, Sebastian Gerner and Mila Bollinger, have just done a fantastic job. We actually pitched Vampy Rates a few years ago to Sebastian when he was at a different company called TKO. And then when he moved over to Boom, he remembered the pitch and he actually reached out to us, which was pretty cool. And Boom has been pretty awesome about us. I mean, Luke and I have this endless, insane text thread where we bounce ideas off of each other. This is a world with vampires, pirates, ghost typhoons, vampire sharks, giant spiders, vampires
It's
that are
literally
crazier and
bunch
more
of, like,
violent
yeah.
than the regular vampires. So, you know, we have approximately enough material for 2,000 issues. It's very exciting.
That's amazing. So how did you guys kind of develop like the main cast of the book?
Well, I've been influenced by a bunch of stuff. I think the first big decision I made was that I didn't want this to be like our world. I wanted it to be an alien world, partly because it makes the vampires make a bit more sense to me. This is a world, the region's called the Night Isles, and it's under 1,000-year eclipse. And our main character is Nira, who is the Empress of the Vampirium, which is the main governing body of the Night Isles. And in the first issue, this isn't terribly spoilery because it happens like not even halfway through the book. She gets violently overthrown in a coup who doesn't like. There are some conservative elements in the government who don't like some of the stuff she's doing, and so she's forced to flee. And I don't think this is a spoiler either because the title of the book is Vampy Rates. Is she winds up in a pirate ship, and so she starts from the tippy top head of the government to basically a cabin girl. A powder monkey, as they're sometimes called in Age of Sail. The people who run back.
Know that.
Yeah. The powder monkey was usually the small child who has to run back and forth from the powder magazine to get the gunpowder. Usually the powder magazine is sent in the center of the ship, so it's hard to hit with a cannonball because obviously that's bad.
Fascinating.
If you want to have a spectacular explosion. But people still manage to do it. Despite their best efforts. But yes, the powder monkey runs back and forth from the cannon to the magazine. See, you learned something today. The show is educational.
Wow, my show being educational? Whoever thought that?
It's not all about fun and games here. We also just like to drop some knowledge on you every once in a while. But there are lots of other cool characters, right, Luca?
Yeah, basically, the thing is that one of the most fun things for me was like in this book was like designing the cast because as I said, I received Fred's treatment and it was full of like this crazy insane characters. So I really felt like I needed to basically step up and match the craziness of the character with their visuals. And I think the characters, I mean, I shouldn't be the one saying it, but I think they're really strong. I think they all stand out, and it's more importantly, at least for me, they're really fun to draw because they all have like gimmick stuff, and they're all like very specific, very unique visually, and I don't know. I think it's we try to at least I did, and I know that Fred agrees, but we try to basically steer away from the conventional like Bela Lugosi in a cape kind of like classic vampire stuff.
Classic
Like we
Dracula,
wanted, yeah, exactly. We wanted to.
Or
I mean, I have
for kids under the age of 50, not making it look like sparkly and rainbowy and Twilight-ish.
Yeah, the thing is, I I have a don't get me wrong. I have a huge respect for those movies. I adore vintage. Let's call them vintage horror movies. Some of my like basically in every show we've done to promote the book, somehow Hammer movies come out because really not just. I mean, I'm very happy that I can finally use this influence in a book, but like way before this book, Hammer movies were like it's some of my favorite like comfort food that I can think of. Like
That's awesome.
and yeah, so it's like that's the thing. I am not saying I didn't want to break away from the tradition because I don't like it. I have a huge respect and I love it, but I also wanted like to really drive the point home that this is a alien weird world. It's not like vampires as you know them. Like it's everything is really weird and the bizarre and the just like fucked up sometimes is really exaggerated and shot to 11 and I love it. It's very fun to draw.
That's amazing. You guys think as a pop culture norm, vampires can come back on top? Because it seems like from like the early 2000s to about maybe the mid-teens, they were like all the rage, and then they died out a little bit.
Yeah, I think that the vampire hasn't really gone away since Bram Stoker. I mean, they I guess they go into remission every once in a while, but there's always been an interview with a vampire or a Twilight or a Blade or a Near Dark or Bram Stoker's Dracula, the Coppola movie. I mean, they're out there somewhere. Last year we had Renfield and Abigail, so they the vampire is always lurking in the shadows.
And we're talking cinema, which is pretty much the most the biggest most relevant form of communication. But like, if you consider like I don't know, like video games or comics or books, like really vampires have always been around. Like it feels like there's always something with vampires.
But I've never like really bought them that like that's part of why I wanted to do an alien world, because I always feel like the vampires, like if they did exist, they would take over pretty quickly. So that's what our vampires have done and kind of herded. So the humans outnumber the vampires pretty significantly, like 4-1. But the vampires are the ones in control of the government and the religion and commerce and everything else.
All right, so it's no different than the real world, actually.
Right, except we have actual bloodsuckers as opposed to just the metaphorical ones.
That's true. That's true. So, look, just overall, what are some of your art influences?
Sorry, some of my art?
What are some of your influences that you got from doing art?
Yeah, I mean, in general, man, this is a very big question. Like for this book specifically, I was very, very happy because I could dip into a lot of the more horror, like creepy stuff that I've been working for Marvel for a while, and that stuff does, unless you're doing very specific things, it doesn't get to come out a lot. But I managed to put like I don't know, just talking about comics. I was always a huge Ghost Rider fan, and I always try to like put those kind of like over the top, bigger than life, like kind of like really stand out horror stuff. And I'm Italian, so I guess I have a huge whether I don't know how conscious it is, but I have a huge influence. I'm hugely influenced by like black and white stuff, and Italian comics are like I think 90% of our comic book industry is in black and white. Like we don't color, and I think he made the Italian artists draw in a very, very specific way, because you tend to develop your style in a certain way when you know that nobody's gonna be coloring your pages. And
So would you choose, if you had to choose between Dylan Dog and Martin
yeah.
Mystery, like which one's your favorite? If you
Oh
have one.
man, the thing is, I don't know how familiar you guys are. Basically, Dylan Dog is from the big comic book publisher in Italy, which is called Bonelli, and it's basically Dylan Dog and a bunch of Western stuff because
Right.
Italy, I guess, we never really got past Sergio Leone, so it's like Western are always popular, and I mean there's a lot of now there's a lot of new stuff, but the what I like is that I don't know, the comics are they're very traditionally made. Usually they have a very fixed grid, and which is something that I think it made me like American comics when I was younger because of the American comics did not have that. Like I remember that I noticed when I was younger that like American comics they had pages with a million panels or just two panels, and they didn't have a specific like size
Like a
or a
specific
shape.
size or a specific panel grid for the typical 9-panel
Yeah,
American
exactly. And Italy, it's like, especially this publisher that publishes Dylan Dog, they have a very, very specific 2x2 or mixtures, like several variations of the of 2x2 page. Also because the format is also smaller, like they're like this big. And I don't know, like I think he made me I like to think that even when I'm not consciously thinking about it, I have that in my comic book DNA. And I don't know, I think he really fits this kind of like more moody horror vibe, way more than he fits American comics, like a superhero comics, because superhero comics were born to be drawn the American way, I believe.
That makes
And
sense.
yeah.
So, how is Heroes Con for you guys?
Well, I went. Luca doesn't get to too many American cons these days.
No, I live abroad, so
Oh, okay, you are okay.
But
I
yeah, it
moved
was
out of
awesome.
the US.
It's one of the Heroes Con is great. It's one of the last sort of traditional comic cons that have only comic book guests. There's not a lot of you don't get the Hayden Christensen's of the world, God bless him, or folks who are in movie and TVs shows. You just get comics fans. Chris Claremont was there, Larry Hama was there, Mike Grell was there. Like it's kind of Roy Thomas was there. It was kind of a who's who of comics, and me. But and you got Deep Barbecue, and it's North Carolina, so it was extremely
One
hot.
of these years, I haven't been there. I haven't been to Heroes Con since like the mid '90s.
Yeah, it in Baltimore are kind of the last real comics only comic shows, and they're very successful. They have the fantastic attendance. The fans are great. If you're a professional, the great thing about it is everybody goes. So I saw lots of editors and artists I am working with currently that I had never actually met in person before. Just knew them over email.
Was Seb there too?
Nope, no, Seb was not there.
Seb is a editor, by the way.
Yeah.
Excuse me, Luca. Wasn't there also a big convention in Italy recently?
Yes, actually, Italy. It's one of those things that makes me very, very happy and also kind of bummed at the same time, because when I was starting to work in Italy and I was living there was nothing. Like I had to go to London because there were like comic book conventions in London. They were like the closest thing to the kind of stuff you would get in the US. But now in the last, I want to say probably 6 or 7 years, maybe I'm just doing a disservice. Maybe it's been longer. I don't know, because I haven't been living in Italy for a while. But there's like a lot of, I've been told, amazing stuff. And I think the one that you're referring was the Bergamo comics. which is in a city near Milan. It's fairly new, but I've been told already that it's become a favorite of Marvel editorial. Like I've been told that some people from Marvel decided that they're gonna be there like every year because they loved it. And then there is
Oh, wow.
one that is absolutely gorgeous, and I would tell you, if you have to go to one convention ever only in your life, it's called the Le Como convention, and
Yeah,
it's basically it's a bit like, I don't know if you're familiar with Angoulême in France. It's basically the same thing. Like it's this little town on the literally on a lake, that the whole town is the venue for the convention. So it's like, I don't know, at
wow.
9 you have a panel in the square, and then at 2 p.m. there is a sign and meet and greet in another thing that they built in another street, and then there's like food and drinks. It's basically outdoors, and
This is all.
it's awesome. It's beautiful, and the scenery is just amazing. I don't know how big it is in terms of like relevance, but I know that artists loved going there. Like everybody told me, man, have you gone? Like it's amazing. It's, by the way, it's very close to where famously George Clooney got married and had a house. It's like just right next to it, because it's probably one of the nicest spot in Italy, really.
That's amazing. That's one of the shows that's on my bucket list for one of these
Oh,
years.
you should, if you have the. I know that it's not like next door. You have to fucking fly to Italy, which
Yeah,
is not. It's not like for everybody, and it's not like something you would do without thinking. But if you ever get the opportunity, go, because I've been told it's amazing.
yeah. Like I said, if I can align all my ducks in a row
Yeah.
and just do it, I would do
I
it in a
think
heartbeat.
logistically, if you're a person that does a lot of shows, it might be a problem because it's very, very close to New York Comic Con. I don't remember if
Yep.
it's like the week after or the
It's
week
like
later.
sometime. Because I remember the one year when I was talking to my buddies over at Alex
Sometimes you
Press Art.
overlap, right?
Yeah, I think it's like a overlap about a couple days, maybe.
Not every year, because it's not the same days every year. So it's like some years it's like a week later, some years is a week before, some years is like the same days, which is not ideal, because I mean, if you work in this industry, you have to be realistic. New York Comic Con is like, you have to go. But if you get the opportunity, just go. Like if you're like, yeah, I've been to New York Comic Con a million times, just maybe 1 year, go there instead.
I'll think about it. You see, New York is my backyard, so I have not missed a New York Comic Con since 2007.
Yeah, New York Comic Con.
I technically missed it last year, although I did show up for one day. I didn't table. Last year was the only time I've never tabled, although I did actually show up for one day of the con because I had another con I had to go to.
Yeah,
it's not among my favorites, but I guess it will always have a place in my heart, because I have been trying to get in the comic book history for years and nothing was happening, and it got to the point that I actually gave myself a deadline. I was like, if I don't make it this year, I'll just go waiting tables and just call this a dream. And then, as a last resort, I was living in London at the time. I got a plane ticket to New York. I went to New York Comic Con, and I got my first job like a week later. So it's like, even if I wanted to hate it, I can't, because it's been kind of instrumental in my career.
Amazon stuff. Yeah, it is a great show, and I have not been to San Diego since 2019.
Never been.
Hopefully next year I'll make it. But are you guys going to be at San Diego this year?
No, but for those of you who are going to San Diego, Boom Studios, our publisher, is a really cool Vampy Rates treasure chest promotion that they're.
We're about to say it?
Huh?
We're about to say it now?
No, I probably shouldn't have, but Adam's special. So.
Okay.
As I was saying it, I was like, oh, maybe that hasn't been enough.
Yeah, if you want, we can edit that out if you want.
No, Luke and I are rebels. We have
right.
not.
No, even
Look,
my audience.
Luke and I have not become the superstars that we are by playing it safe.
Okay.
We're truly, one could say, we're truly the pirates of
over from
American
Boom
comics.
to come kick my door down and beat the crap out of me is what it is.
I think they'll come after me first, but they know where I live.
And I'll take the blame for all of us. It's all me. It's all my fault.
It's all right. It's all right. But I think, but I haven't actually like explained what the actual promotion is. I've just, given you a little hint, just a little taste.
Sweet, because
of the true awesomeness.
Yeah, spoilers is in the fucking name. So
that's silence, Luca. You didn't start working on getting us to some of those Brazilian comic conventions.
Sweet.
I want to go to Brazil, and I want a Comic-Con to pay for it.
So, what is your the promotional plans? Is this going to be a mini or is this an ongoing?
Like most things in the comic industry these days, it is an ongoing if sales warranted, and we very much want them to be warranted because we're super excited about this world. We are definitely doing 5 issues. But we have ideas for dozens more stories. So I hope people, go out there and check it out and really love it. The response we've had so far has been fantastic.
Yeah, I have to say, apart from the response, from the public response, even the level of support from the publisher has been, I feel really taken care of, like really.
Absolutely, they've really gone to bat for us, which is fantastic. So, I'm feeling positive. I think we're gonna have the opportunity to keep this going. But definitely,
I checked out the PDF that you sent me, and I enjoyed what I saw.
Awesome.
I mean, it has potential. It's got option potential, I think, as well.
Sure. From your lips to Hollywood's ears.
Yeah. That's the real reason why anybody does what we do. is to make a movie at the end, because fuck the comic industry. We're all in here for the for the possible movie.
Let me ask you guys about that.
You're such a cynical player, Luca. Jeez.
Do you guys think that maybe we've like we're an adult audience. I have an adult audience. Do you think that the comic book industry has basically become Hollywood's bitch at this point, or?
Well, Hollywood has contracted significantly since sort of the heyday of the, streaming wars. So part of the problem, I think, if you're trying to make comics specifically to be optioned for Hollywood, is it's just not. And if it ever was a viable business model, I don't know that it is anymore. I mean, I worked for one of the original IP farms, Platinum Studios, and it took them a decade to get a comic called Cowboys and Aliens made into a movie, which is a comic I wrote for them.
There's only 1 or 2 people I've seen who
have one of the greatest movies of the last 20 years, by the way.
Well,
I haven't seen it in a couple of years. It's a great movie. The only person I've ever seen who's been able to mix the two, cinema and comic books, where you could tell everything he puts out is just a blueprint. Miller World.
Yeah.
Okay.
To me, Miller World is so successful that you cannot even take it as a model, because it's really what happened to Miller World is just it's one of those it's saying like, you have a band with your friends and you want one day will become the Rolling Stones, like, maybe start playing and make a living out of it. You don't aim to be the Rolling Stone. And it's like, to me, Miller World is like that. It's like, I don't know if Fred agrees, but I don't think in our best case scenario ever we're gonna be Miller World level of whatever happened to that guy. Like, I mean, what happened to him and Kirkman is really unique, I think, in the industry.
Oh yeah.
And I think it's just source of at least for me, would be a source of frustration to say, yeah, and that's what I'm aiming for. Like those are things that happen to you. They're not, at least the way I see it, they're not things that you aim for, things that happen to you. And when they do, great.
Yeah, it's hard to sort of contrive those things, and a lot of people spend a lot of money in Hollywood trying to contrive them, but it's just, it either happens or it doesn't. I mean, I just like making books. That's always been like my big passion. That's just what I like to do. So I've had stuff optioned. I've had one or two things be made into a movie / TV show.
Broadway plays.
I've had plays. Yep. We're starting to go in rehearsals right on Tuesday, actually, for me and my wife, Crystal Skillman's played King Kirby about Jack Kirby, is going into production next Tuesday. So that's very exciting. Gonna have some new pages for that. But really, you just kind of, it sounds very like Pollyanna and like, easy for you to say, but you just kind of have to do what you want to do. And, hopefully it's something that other people respond to.
No, actually, the more I think about it, I think that what I said came out wrong. What I meant is that, it's like, to me, the most important thing is that you keep doing the comics you like, and then all the jokes about the movies and stuff. The way I see it is like, if I get a bunch of money from a movie or something, it's cool because it gives me the opportunity of worrying less about who is gonna hire me for what, and just do the fucking comics that I always wanted to do. That's the thing.
And I would assume that Mark Millar does the comics he wants to read. I don't think he's necessarily doing them just to have an option. I mean, once you get, Kick-Ass and Wanted and the Kingsman made, you start wanting to chase that high, and so I can certainly see how that would affect.
It's the perfect movie, plain movie.
That's true. I really think where Miller's stuff, at least the live action shows, went off the rails a little bit was, Jupiter's Legacy, maybe Super Crooks, looked a little bit more rushed than it should have been.
Can I confess something?
Yeah.
I have never. I think I read the first issue of Wanted. I think that's the only Miller World comic I've ever read, and I don't think I've ever seen one of the movies or TV shows. So I have no opinion.
Yeah, no, I know for Superior, I actually was in an auction to try to get my name, get one of the characters named after me, but someone outbid me, and I was like, yep, I can't afford this anymore. Bye.
How much did it go for?
It went for a couple grand.
Sure, I mean that makes sense.
I mean,
I have that kind of money to spend on fictional characters named after me. I know I don't.
There's a lot of money involved in Miller books. Like I remember I talked with this fantastic artist that deserves every cent anybody gives him. He's a Croatian, I believe, guy called Goran Parlov, and he's very famous. He very famously did Punisher run with Gartennis, and he did a bunch of stuff for Marvel, but he's really he started to work for Bonelli in Italy. He was doing Western stuff. He's a fantastic artist, and he did a beautiful book for Miller World a long time ago. It was called Starlight, which was basically a love letter to Flash Gordon and this kind of stuff.
Yep.
And the book was gorgeous. And I remember I met him. We were sitting together in a convention in London, and they sat the people there sat us together because he speaks Italian. He doesn't speak great English, but he speaks Italian because he lives in Italy like a decade. I think he still lives there. And so we started talking, and he basically told me that he was getting $1,000 per page for and no negotiation. Basically, the first email from Mark Millar was, "Hey, do you want to make a comic with me? I can give you $1,000 per page." And he was like, "Okay."
Yeah.
So
Why not?
yeah, I mean,
Short
no, what I'm
conversation.
saying is that it's I think it would be disingenuous also to ignore the fact that Miller World has been so successful because he can get the best artists in the world, because he literally pays 3 times more than Marvel does.
That's amazing. Let me ask both of you guys this. You know, you guys have both been in the industry for a while, and let's say, what piece of advice would you give to someone thinking of doing their own small indie little book?
Whew.
Just getting their start. Anyone who wants to get into the industry, what advice would you give?
Buy a ticket to New York City. Do what Luca did. And it works every time. No, I'm kidding.
No, actually it does. But I mean, I'm assuming that please at least know how to draw or write first. That would be
Yeah. Let's see. You know how to draw. You know how to write.
no, but seriously, it's I'm asked this question a lot when I'm tabling a convention. I get all sorts of people that come to me and ask, like, show me their portfolio, and I get it's a question that I take very seriously, because it's a huge thing to tell somebody, like, when I was younger, I wanted to do this for a living, and there is still now. I don't think I want or I know how to do literally anything else in life except drawing comic books. But at the same time, I feel like nobody had, because we get so overwork about the whole how to make it, how to draw. You have to draw in this, and you have to be good at this, do this, and I feel like nobody prepared me for the life of somebody who makes comics for a living, which is, some days you want to say it's not a good life, but it's a grueling job. And I mean, I would probably still would do this because literally it's the only thing I know how to. But every time somebody comes with me like all doe-eyed and say, "Oh, people say that I'm great at drawing," and they show me their portfolio and they're actually really good, and they look at me and say, "So what should I do?" I feel like it would be really disingenuous to, like, first thing first, are you sure? Because I remember very well that making comics and drawing in your room and dreaming like one day it's gonna be my job, it's way more fun than actually doing it. And
well, that's what they say. That's the difference between wishing and wanting and having.
yeah, but also it's like,
wish
when
sometimes,
the best thing in the world, when it becomes, it's this kind of catch-22, because you want it to be your job, but then when it becomes a job, it's a job with all that entails.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's stupid, but you cannot say, "Man, today I'm really not in the zone. I don't think this is going anywhere. I'm just going out for a walk instead." No, you can't. Like, you have to keep doing it because you have to. And it's the financial uncertainty and everything. I think a lot of people worry about, am I good enough to be a comic book artist? But I don't see a lot of discussion about, how is it to live by doing that for a living? Like, what kind of life is it? And I mean, I'm not saying it's bad, but I feel like it's a conversation that I've never heard.
Well, there's good days and bad days, right? Like anything else.
No, I mean, that goes for everything, every
Plumbers
job,
feel
of
the
course.
same way,
But it's like,
I think it's also something that you kind of have to be compelled to do it. It's not like you have this rational decision that I'm going to become an artist or I'm going to become a professional writer or something. You know, it's
Like
I saw
literally 100% of people that work in comics is because they wanted to do it since they were kids. Like nobody decides to do this when they're
They
40.
just wake up one day in their mid-50s and be like, you know what I should do today? I should
Yeah,
make a
I've
comic
had
book.
a couple of people like that, but they're actually all pretty great people. But I mean, there was this great documentary on HBO about Albert Brooks, the filmmaker and comic writer and performer, and he was arguing. He tells this story. He was arguing with his agent once, and
Is it
they
the
were arguing.
World War Z guy? No.
That's Max Brooks.
Oh, sorry.
That's Max Brooks. Believe it or not, that's the son of Mel Brooks.
Max Brooks.
Yes, and he looks a
The
lot
World
like
War Z dude.
Yes. Oh, you didn't know that? Yeah, he's Mel Brooks' son,
No.
and he
But
looks
sorry, I interrupted you.
looks a lot like Anne Bancroft, his mother.
Now we know, and knowing is half the battle.
No, Albert. The funny thing about Albert Brooks is that Albert Brooks' real name, his birth name, no lie, is Albert Einstein. He is an Einstein, and they named him Albert for some reason. I think the other Albert Einstein had been famous at that point, so he changed his name when he got in the show business. Why he chose Brooks, I couldn't tell you. Obviously, I was not totally paying attention during the documentary. However, I was paying attention during this one part, which is where he was arguing with his agent about some project and about some fight they were having in the studio. And the agent says, "Why do you have to always take the hard road? Why do you always have to take the hard road?" And Albert Brooks just looks at him and goes, "You think I see two roads? There's only the one road."
Yeah.
And that's what I'm on. I think that's the way it is for me. Is I only have the one road, like you know. So I mean, but I do kind of have the life I wanted when I was 8. I sit in my little room, you see around me, and I write and I read and I, you know, talk to people, and that's pretty much what I wanted. So winning at life.
It's pretty much the same way. I had my little podcast room, and I get to do weird little voices and tell weird funny jokes, and
I used to be like that, and then I had a child.
Well, those are your choices, Luca.
Yes.
Why are you saddling the rest of
which I don't regret, by the way. I don't want this to be out.
So, what is it like having Boom as a publisher?
They've been pretty great. We pretty much jumped at it as soon as Sebastian, approached us. They're really strong in the horror space with Something's Killing the Children and all the other stuff that they do. Hello Darkness, they're fantastic. Horror anthology, which has a Vampy Rates #1 preview in it. Issue 22 does, which is hitting stands today, actually, which is cool. But yeah, no, they've been really terrific. They've given us a lot of support.
I was very happy because the thing is, when you do a pitch for when you put together a creator-owned book, let's be honest, everybody, the first thing they had in mind is like, I'm gonna go to Image, and it's like, I mean, we did, but the thing is, I was very, very, very happy when we told Boom was interested, because I think what their output these days is always been very good, but their output in the last 5 or 6 years has been fantastic. They're really books that stand out. The quality of the stories, and also the kind of books they do. I feel like we really belong there. And I already had worked with Boom a million years ago, but I think that literally everybody I knew from back then is gone. So it's weird because I'm back at Boom, but it's like a different Boom. It feels really fresh and fun, and it feels like people are hungry for cool books to put out. I'm very happy about how we've been taken care of.
Yeah, that's amazing. And I've been developing a new love of Boom for the last 3 or 4 months.
Nice. Good time.
Yeah, now that actually someone's put, I discovered, hey, they're more than just the publisher that publishes, Power Ranger books.
Yeah. I think it's actually true. Like a lot of people, they mostly know them for their license stuff. And honestly, the people working on those books are amazing, but I think it's the least interesting things. Like they have a bunch of specifically original horror books that are like fantastic. Like really, one is better than the other. It's great. And to be in such company is at the same time for me, it's great and also a bit intimidating because now I'm like somehow I'm competing with that Werther the Lederer for some reason, which is like insane if I think about it. But no, it's really good. I'm very happy.
That's amazing. So, Fred, outside of the Vampy Rates, you have anything else coming out?
Yeah. I just, you can't stop me. I like to keep busy. Keeps me off the streets. Keeps me out of the gang. Keeps the needle out of my arm. For Dynamite, sort of on the radical other end of Vampy Rates, I have a book about Gaston that I co-wrote with my buddy Greg Pak, drawn wonderfully by Milana Cicciarella, Luca's Italian countrywoman. She's crushing it on that book. That's coming out from Dynamite. In terms of ongoing, The Future Is, my cyberpunk epic, is still ongoing from Rekka.
Nice.
And in August, I took over writing of the Ultimate Oz series from Cullen Bunn for AWA, which Mike Diodato Jr. is drawing, which is a huge honor. And my first volume of that comes out in August.
Sweet.
And I have the usual secret stuff I can't talk about.
That's awesome. Luca, outside of Vampy Rates, do you have any other projects coming out?
Nope. No, with me, it's very easy, man. It's like
he's going down with the ship.
Yeah, no, I had taken a sabbatical after I've been working on and off for Marvel for 10 years, and then I was taking some time off because I say we very liberally, but my wife got pregnant and we got a baby some time ago.
Oh, congratulations.
She's 1.5 if I think about it. So yeah, it's not it's not like the other day, but those things, I would say Fred knows, it took me longer than expected to go back to a normal life. But I mean, again, I want this to be loud and clear. I have no regrets. Okay.
That's awesome. And
we would never
be young once. I totally get that.
Because I don't want the interview to come out and it's like, oh yeah, it's that book drawn by the dad who fucking hates his daughter.
No, that's great. I totally get it. You're only going to be young once, so take advantage of it while you can.
Yeah, no, it's great, but it's like there was no way I could have done any work in the last year, and I'm very happy to have started with. I'm very happy that my first new job after so much time is actually my first creator-owned book. This is like huge for me.
Well, you're crushing it, Luca. Like it's kind of blowing my mind to think this is your first creator-owned book.
Yeah, because the thing is, I don't want to get into it, but I think that you get a bit complacent when you work with Marvel, at least from the artist point of view. I don't know if for writers is the same, because writers, you can always do 3 or 4 books at the same time. But with artists, if you work at Marvel, it's not a mystery. The money is good, and you tend to just say, you know what, I'm gonna do another year because you need to pay bills, and then next thing you know is like, oh, I've been basically here for a long time, and it's not like my career is I'm no John Romita Jr., and it's like, but the time passes, And I mean, it's really good for me that this happened because I also because of my new lifestyle, my new parenting lifestyle. Like I don't know if I could have afforded to go back on a superhero book because on a book that is not my book, because it's the way I work is different. Everything is different.
I mean, Marvel's great. And and I love the characters, the characters. I met some of my best friends there. But
Absolutely.
once you've done it, you've done it.
No,
I mean,
but
you kind of, it's cool. So I would have a career without Marvel.
absolutely. No, but that's what I was
Marvel,
saying.
you've done Marvel, so you move on to.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. It's like, if anything, that's the problem, that
I was agreeing
working
with
there, it's so good that you get complacent and you're like, I don't need to do other things. I'm good here. And it's
Sure.
like, it's good for the short term, but in the long term, I'm loving that we're doing this. And if I was working at Marvel, I
That's
wouldn't
awesome.
physically have the time to do this.
Excuse me, Luca. With all your stuff at Marvel, do you have a favorite run that as a little kid you never thought you'd be working on?
You mean a run that I have done or that I
Yeah,
liked as a reader?
all the stuff from Marvel you've done. Do you have something that stands out as the favorite thing of your career that you've done with Marvel?
Well, the thing is, we've done. I know for a fact the book I have liked less, which is this series that I've done some time ago. It was called Weapon X. It wasn't
Nice.
bad, but the scripts were awful, like awful.
I see what you did there. See what you did there.
No, I'm joking. I'm joking. The thing is, I was never on a regular artist on a book for a long time, so I don't have a run that I have done, but I got to draw a lot of my favorite characters. Actually, I was joking, but with Fred alone, I drew two of my all-time favorites, which are Sabretooth and Deadpool. They were there in the same fucking book. And
That's such an underrated series as well.
It was really, really cool. And actually, it was very intimidating because I was offered that job and I didn't know who was drawing it before me. And then I saw that it was Idrail Sinar. I don't know if you were already there or you came later.
I was, yeah.
And because to show me the costumes and the uniforms, they sent me his pages and I was like, ooh, so I'm the dude after this dude. Oh fuck. But it was really good.
It was.
That is sweet. When does Vampy Rates hit shops?
So Vampy Rates #1 drops July 8th. If you are in the New York City tri-state area on July 8th, I will be signing at Forbidden Planet on Broadway between 5 and 7, and then I'll be doing like a tour of the tri-state area for basically the next 2 weeks. I'll be in Brooklyn.
So whatever spots in the tri-state you got coming out besides Forbidden Planet.
Wednesday the 8th, I have Forbidden Planet. Thursday the 9th, I have Pelham Comics in Pelham, New York. Friday night, the 10th, I have Anyone Comics in Brooklyn. Saturday, I'll be doing two shops. Oh yeah, in Harrison, and then I'm going to go to Staten Island and sign at JHU in Staten Island, and then a couple weeks after that, me and Ryan Dunleavy will be at Escape Pod Comics in Huntington, New York.
Some nice shops, and I won't say anything negative about my old bosses over at JHU. Love those guys.
Say something nice.
Yeah, Amazon stop. So, if you could, out of all the books coming out in July, in a couple of words, what's the best reason to pick up Vampy Rates?
It's a new world to lose yourself in with fantastic characters you fall in love with, and amazing art.
Luca?
It's a great book with amazing stories. And you're welcome. And yeah, and it's made by two creators who love each other very much. And no, seriously, it's
Yeah, I can see that. That's awesome.
it's
Actually,
seriously,
there was.
it's
I'm sorry. Go ahead, Luca.
no, just it's. I think it's pirates are cool, vampires are cool, and put them together, and not only that, exactly, put them together, and literally, I know that this is a very overused expression, but I believe that our book is like better than the sum of its parts. Because when it's like, okay, yeah, I can see that it's vampires and pirates. I think I kind of get an idea of how this book is gonna be. No, like our book is weird and amazing. I promise you.
Well said.
I read issue 1. Fred, thank you for the PDF. It was a great read. It actually helped me get my mind off of some of the other personal stuff I'm taking care of behind the scenes. So thank you for putting a smile on my face with that. Excellent. And I'm looking forward to seeing what the next 4 issues have in store for this world.
Me too.
Maybe when everything is out, maybe you wouldn't mind a couple disabled kids getting together and making a motion comic of it.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah, no, just like I said, I'm Blind Adam is not a gimmick. I really am visually impaired. And the thing that annoys me with motion comics and audio-styled comics is once you get away from the big two, it's harder to find stuff.
Right.
That's the reason I was happy to, I forget the YouTube channel that made it, but they did like the first 20 issues of Something's Killing the Children as a motion comic.
Well, that's cool.
And I was like, thank you.
Because the reason why I never got into them, because the ones I've seen, they were just not well made.
No.
I think it was one of the first examples. I remember Marvel doing a Black Panther animated motion comic with John Romita Jr. art.
Yep.
And the thing is, I know that book. The art on the book is amazing. But then I think they really botched the animation, the motion part, and it looked cheap. It looked like really like somebody's cousin had done it on their laptop, and it was, I don't know, man, it kind of put me off the whole thing.
I've been dabbling with this stuff recently, and what I've discovered is that you can't just dump the comic into a video file. You need to actually change the art, change the lighting, do a lot of things to sort of make it move. Not just literally make it move, but to make it work as a cinematic experience.
Yeah, I mean,
and that's just something
it's a moot point now because it's probably all AI now, but
well, you still need to tell it what to do, right?
AI. Come on, let's not rush the world. I don't think the world's ready for AI that can think for itself yet. Now, what are you guys' thoughts on AI?
I don't want to get banned on 15 countries, man.
Fair enough. All right, let me ask you this. Let's just because I use a little bit of AI more to be like a visual aid. So if let's say someone who's totally blind or very close to being totally blind uses AI to help him make his comic, but it doesn't have AI do any of the creative stuff. It's just like anything that requires vision, like editing or putting together in a script that you can show to an artist, etc.
Well, I think there's two elements, right? There's the environmental impact, which is, outside of any other ethical consideration and is challenging. But then I think there's the labor issue of putting, working artists and animators out of work. And I think that, that's the part that people are most upset about.
I mean, I was reading just today. I was reading just today on the toilet. I don't know why I specified that. I was reading just today.
You don't need to know where you read.
But I'm a huge gamer. I like video games, and I was basically reading that the video game industry is expected to collapse single-handedly from AI. And it's the thing is, to me, it's kind of like the same thing about, like, the the food industry. It's like, I don't see anything wrong in having a farm and killing your cows to eat, to feed your family, or even to feed somebody in a local thing. But the moment that becomes a multi-billion industry in which they put 1 million cows in a factory, there are cows that have never seen the outdoors, and they are like born and bred in a little prison cell. That is a problem. And to me, that kind of like is the same with AI. I'm never gonna go after a kid who uses AI in his room because he wants to make a comic. I have many opinions about companies that use AI because it's better than paying somebody's salary.
Well, and Luca, you describe it as a multi-billion-dollar industry, which is accurate only if you're talking about their losses. The AI just hemorrhages money, and I think that to a certain extent, a lot of these ethical issues will be decided for us, because at a certain point, the free AI spigot is going to get turned off once these people realize someone needs to keep these data centers and everything else humming. And right now, they're just literally just burning billions of dollars, and no one over there has figured out a way to to monetize it. It's one thing to give Twitter and Facebook away for free. You can charge people advertising and do all sorts of other things. It's another thing to give people these tools for free. And I think, folks like Adam, who are more, Adam, would I accurately describe you as a kind of casual AI user?
Yes. I'd say I'm doing like small things, like, if I'm writing like a screenplay or something.
Right. Let me rephrase it, Adam. Are you making billions out of the things you make?
Well, no. Again, but then Adam, the question that Adam and everybody who's a casual AI user is going to have to ask themselves sooner rather than later is, how much am I willing to pay for this service? Me, not how much money am I making. How much money am I willing to pay in order to continue using these products? Because at a certain point, the Anthropics and the open AIs of the world are going to have to start putting some black onto the red.
I was reading I don't remember if it's Microsoft, that they basically realized that AI is costing them more than the jobs they substituted with AI. So
that's fast. Going back to Vampy Rates, did the FOC for this happen already?
Yes, the FOC was a while ago, but the FOC for number 2.
Don't let us stop you, man.
Is exactly. Go to your store now. Demand, just shake them until they order Vampy Rates. All of the issues, not just number 1. But no, don't shake your retailer. That's probably assault, and I don't want to be charged.
It depends.
Let's pretend they're people.
I'm a local shop. I think it's considered a hello.
But the they might like it. I don't know. But the FOC for number 2 is the Monday after number 1 comes out. So,
all right.
So go out.
I did not know.
Get those comics, and if you go to Forbidden Planet on July 8th, I'll be there with plenty of copies of Vampy Rates for you to pick up.
I might stop by the signing. I haven't been in Forbidden Planet for a while.
That'd be awesome. I'd love to see you.
Yep. So where can you guys be found online?
I am just my name, Fred vanlentie, at all of the major sites. I hang out mostly on Blue Sky, and I do a lot of comics promotion on Instagram. I have a newsletter you can sign up for on my website, but I don't ever put one out. So at least you won't be spammed, you won't get incessant Fred Van Lentie emails. But I will put out one for when Vampy Rates comes out in a couple weeks.
Sweet.
And yeah, me, it's at LUKAPIZ at the most of the social stuff. Like I'm on Facebook, I'm on Blue Sky, I'm on Instagram, and I should get Threads, but I'm old and I don't feel like, but I think I should.
I want to thank you guys for being guests. Everyone, please check the book out. It comes out July 8th. And once again, if you guys have an open invitation to come on anytime you want to.
Thanks,
promote
man.
whatever you
Appreciate
want.
it.
Thanks, Adam.
Thank you guys so much.
Bye.
Have a good night, guys.
You too, man. Bye.
Yep. All right, everybody. You can follow JV everywhere. JV Wheels _
Correct.
I got it right for once this week. Yay! When is the next time you're going to be on Twitch?
Should be tomorrow. If not, definitely Friday.
Sweet. Before we bounce, anything you want to talk about, or?
Not too much. I was, doing some research on Luca, and I know he did some work, maybe some artwork on Echo, so that was pretty cool. Yeah, I don't really have much. Just thank you for inviting me back another week, and
hey man, I mean this from the bottom of my heart. I could not dream of doing a Wednesday ASR without you. You're part of the family. My castle is your castle. One of these days, you just think I had enough of this stat blind fuck in his comics, and he thinks he's funny when he's a jackass, and you can just run me over with a wheelchair.
No, I would never do that. You know that. So, man.
You much love. Keep up the good work on Twitch. I know you're working through your audio issues right now, but you're doing a great job.
It's funny. I think I fixed it while you were conducting the interview. But
really?
Yeah. I think I just had to uninstall and reinstall something. But yeah, I'm trying, man. I'm trying. Yeah, just keep grinding. Shout out to our guest today. Also, before I leave, there was a comment from, let me see if I can get the name right, Tony.
All right, that's Tony Fix. Love Tony. What was his question?
So he goes, hey, Adam, glad I got to tune in. Sorry I couldn't join. My kids have activities pretty much every day lately. And he was at his daughter's marching band thing.
That's awesome.
So I let him know I would let you know when you're done. So
all right, cool. Much love to Tony. He's put me on the many magazines that I now know about, which I'm trying to get him on an episode at one point, but I think I might just show off some of the covers that he was putting me onto next week, because I don't think we have a guest next week yet. Because the person who I want to come on, he's not sure if he can come on or not yet. Yeah, it's just calamity.
Oh, okay.
It's been a while since it's been a month or so since we've had the band back together, so.
I feel that. No. I should be on next week.
All right, cool, man. Well, we'll be in touch, beforehand. As everyone knows, you can catch me on Instagram at The Real Blind Adam, ManyVids Blind Adam, TikTok The Real Blind Adam, eBay Blind Adam, Twitter ComicPimpVIP. At the Comic Pimp, whatnot at ComicPimpVIP. Yay! I know where I am. That's social now. Yay! As always, you don't need to have a vision. I love you all. Blind Adam out. Amazon cancel all alarms.